Looks like when we're live right now. So I say even with that, because I'm looking at this stuff on here, let's wait a little bit, see what's going on, and then...
Yeah, sounds good. I want to see if I can pull up the stream on one of my windows, that way I can see, like, chat.
Yeah, no, if you could, that'd be fantastic. Looks like...
Do you have a link for some reason? Like, do you have a link to this? Oh, no, never mind. It just popped up. Cool.
Okay, cool. Wait, on my channel popped up?
Yeah, it popped up on your channel.
Okay. Also, just for the record, for anybody who is probably heard myself right there, what the hell was it? Yeah, no, I was going to say for anybody who's going to be watching this in the future, right now we're going to spend the first like 5 minutes kind of just like making sure people are in here, all that stuff, figuring out what's going on. Then we'll actually start the podcast. So we really haven't done this, but this will be interesting. So
yeah, right now everything looks pretty good. I see a couple people in the chat, which is good.
Yeah, always good. Yes, indeed, quite.
Yes.
Or something along those lines.
It doesn't look like it switches back. Oh, no, it does switch back and forth between us. Cool. Yeah. Matt, your setup looks so much nicer than mine. Mine looks really ghetto with like the white wall in the background. I need to get some posters up.
And we have a guest in the background too.
Who, my girlfriend?
Yes. Daniel, I don't know. I think you thought way too long about that one.
Yeah, you can see
I'm a tad bit worried. No, it's all good. Let me pause that there. Actually, I'm just gonna mute this because when I keep going back to the stream, I just is there a pop-out chat thing? Yeah, pop-out chat. There we go. Okay, so we could actually get that going. We could see what's going on and all that. And we have a few users. Well, not viewers. Blech. Excuse me. I think
how'd you pop-out chat?
Oh, I went to the actual page, like where the stream is going and all that on my channel, and then I just hit what is it? The like, there's a little options key.
Yeah, I see it. Cool.
You got it? Okay, cool. So I could just kind of like pull that up on the side, all that other fun stuff.
It's way nice. I've never used that at all my live streams.
I normally use it because I don't want like, you know, to constantly be on there, and also I can like moving around on my screen and everything, and it works out quite well.
No, that's nice.
Yeah, dude. Cool. All right. You know, this is actually even better too because I don't have to wear a headset. Like, I hate headsets.
Yeah, me too. Well, originally I thought we were gonna have to wear a headset, but it sounds like the audio is coming through, you know, really good. So
yeah, this is a lot like who was it? This is a lot like Skype, where it has like the not auto negotiation. I'm thinking the networking stuff, like kind of auto filtering, where it's able to detect your voice coming through my speakers and it cancels it out.
Awesome.
Yeah, because if you have other things like TeamViewer and all that stuff, then that's where you'll start hearing it, and then you'll hear like the horrible mic noise where it's like and it just gets louder and louder until you plug something in.
I've experienced that shit.
Oh, it's horrible. It's horrible. Yeah. Discord's pretty nice though with that, so I'm using Discord now.
Yeah, Discord's cool. I've been using the crap out of it. Only thing I would say about Discord is I wish you could host your own servers.
You can't
host your own. No, they're all done through Discord.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, but I mean like locally, like in terms of where you're not even like having like with TeamViewer or TeamSpeak. I'm sorry, you can actually like download and host it on your own personal server, but you have to host it through their interface.
Yeah,
which is fine. Like, I mean, it works fine, but like it would still be nice to have the option if you just didn't want to have to use their.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's the whole point of it and all that too, just so you don't have to go out and set up your own server or pay for a server, and it gives you really powerful tools as well too with that.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice. I've used it. I've set up a separate one other than the one we use for, you know, ModChat, and it's really nice. Like, there's some pretty cool features in terms of like making things really simple to get going and organized, really.
Yeah, the nice one is with it. Well, the nice thing I was gonna say with it as well too is just recently implemented calling, which is like we can call each other directly, which is nice. So really, the only things that it has, which Skype might have a leg up on it, is video and like not file sharing, but screen sharing on there. Which like screen sharing, you could use whatever generic screen share program you want to use. You're good on that. And then video sharing, I don't know. Like, I guess you could use Hangouts. You have to use another service for video sharing.
That's you.
Yep. But yeah, anyways, let's I think since we're a few minutes in, we're good now. We could go ahead and do our intros and all. So for anyone who like is listening to this after it's been recorded and all that stuff, again, I don't know if I'm gonna put that part in. We might as well, just for archival purposes. But that was just kind of like bullshitting around a bit on the stream, making sure everything was going on here. We have a few viewers, so thank you very much for joining. But what's going on, everyone? It's me, Mr. Mario, and who do I have with me?
This is ModBot, formerly known as Dope930.
The YouTuber formerly known as the Dope930.
It's still such a strange thing, dude. Like, I have people, like, it's been that way for quite a while now. I saw people like, who the fuck is ModBot? I'm like, it is I. You know, whatever, though. So
I've thought of doing that, too. Like, just when I refer to you, just be all like, and this is the YouTuber formerly known as the Dope930, kind of like what Prince did.
Yeah, it's funny because, like, some people get it, and other people are like, no, like, I like Dope Splinter. And I'm like, whatever, man. You know?
Yeah, and we have a guest in the background, which is his girlfriend too, so you could just like see her kind of there.
Say hi.
Hi.
She's unwillingly on the stream, so
Yeah, like she didn't have a choice. I was supposed to take her home before this, and we slept in too late. So
yeah, and it's like, yeah, no, wait, I have to do this podcast thing. Internet things are important.
Yeah,
Oh, good.
she gets it.
Well, thank you for being understanding, Aaron. We appreciate it.
Yeah, you got it, man.
Do you remember that time I called you and then she didn't wake you up even though she heard your phone ringing like 4 times?
Oh yeah, yeah. We were supposed to do a freaking mod chat. And
He wanted to let you sleep though. I understand that.
And I fell asleep, and like you let it ring like 4 or 5 times while sleeping. You never woke me up. And I woke up, and it was like hours later. I was like, oh my god. And you're like, yeah, your phone was ringing. I was like, why the fuck didn't you wake me up? You knew I had a mod chat. Because when we were in the add-on. No, it totally fucking happened. Yeah, she's playing silly, but no, I absolutely remember that day because I had it all set up in there. I had my laptop with my snowball mic.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I totally remember.
Yeah, no, I remember that was funny to explain too.
Dude, I've been like really inconvenient for this whole series.
No, dude, it's all good. It's all
At
good.
least now I've got this set up, and my internet is not nearly as good as yours, but at least now, dude, I've got 300 down and 25 up.
That's not. I hate that though with the whole networking thing where it's like, can you give me like 100 up or something? Why can't it be even close to symmetrical?
Yeah, but still compared to before, dude, I think I had 4 or 5. I'll take my 2025, dude. It's still like a pretty substantial increase.
Of course.
You know?
Yeah. But yeah, anyways, going back to this. So this is ModChat, which this is weird as hell for us because we have not done this before. But this is our live episode. So we've had some people ask us to do these live streamed. And we've also had some people ask us to do face cams because I understand you see a video on YouTube and you don't really want to just have it be like a 45 or 50 minute still photo, and that's it. So we decided to combine the two into one. So pretty much, I guess we're going to be trying it out. So if this episode isn't the best, please excuse us. But for anyone who's listening to the pre-recorded version, hopefully it should be available on all the normal avenues and such. And what will happen is this is going to be on Hangouts on my channel, and then it will go down. At one point, I'll bring it up. Daniel, you can put it on your channel if you want to. And then I'll just have to rip the MP3 off that, and it will go out to the regular avenues, which is like Podbean, Google Play, iTunes.
So you're still going to do the audio version of it for those people that want that?
Oh, yeah. No, I'm happy. There's actually people that specifically asked for the audio version. I'm like, thank you. That's money well spent. I'm happy I'm not paying for server space and it's like going to waste.
Yeah, right on. Mm-hmm. Well, it's a convenience. I mean, first off, it takes less time to like buffer and load, and it takes less data if you're on a mobile device. And then also, I mean, for this stuff, like you really don't have to see us. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're just trying to get the audio and information out of it. But I can understand that, like, if you're watching on YouTube, while it's probably a little nicer if they can look in and see, a couple dudes sitting in front of their computers talking.
Of course. Yeah, and by the way, for the people on the chat, so sorry if it seems like I'm kind of ignoring. I'm not trying to, but Daniel and I get wrapped up in conversation here. Another thing we were thinking of doing, probably about like in the halfway point of this stream or something, we're actually going to try and switch it over to user feedback and, question answer and all that. So if you all have questions for us or whatever, we might or might not answer them if we want to, but I mean by that, it's just like, if there's something that's just like completely horrible, we're not going to answer it. But we're going to have you all included, so works out, hopefully.
Yeah, it sounds pretty good to me.
Yeah. So anyways, Daniel, how have you been doing recently?
I've been doing pretty good. As you know, I am officially out of the bird cage or the nest. Not the cage, the nest. Yeah, finally moved out. After 5 years later than I was supposed to originally. But yeah, so very cool. As you can tell, I'm probably, I'm sure if anyone that's watching this is actually watching one of my videos, you can tell that the background is different. And I'm very happy with the setup. I've got a new chair and a small desk because the L-shaped desk just did not fit with how I wanted this room set up. So I will do set up tour once everything has kind of blown over here in the next couple days to a week. And honestly, the only real things I want to do still is I need to put some posters up because my room, again, like I just told you, doesn't look nearly as cool as yours. And I also, and I also need to probably add a little bit better lighting. Right now it's ideal because I've got like a natural light coming in from the window, but for nighttime, it's not nearly good enough to do recording. But yeah, so I'm officially out. I've got my dog in here under the bed, and she moved out with me, so that's pretty cool that she's in here. But yeah, other than that, I've been doing good, just working, and trying to stay, I don't know, positive. So
I gotcha. Yeah, you moved out, Main Spree. I mean, it's nice, man. The world is positive.
Yeah, exactly. So, and it's really nice too because, like, for some reason, a lot of pokes spawn here. So,
dude, no Pokemon spawn at my place, man.
Yeah, at my parents' house where I lived, none, dude. But I woke up the other morning to a freaking Chansey in the neighborhood, and I was like, dude, no way.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think the best thing I haven't even woken up to anything, but like I went to my friend's house where Pokemon spawn there all the time, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I woke up to an Onix." I'm like, no, why?
It's funny how different like places though different Pokemon are like rare because you said you just got like an Arcanine or whatever, and like I'm working on my 4th Arcanine already.
Yeah, no, I got an Arcanine. I got a Dragonite last night as well too.
That's awesome. Like, yeah, that's something that I don't see here.
Yeah,
I got the most exciting thing I got was from a 10-kilometer egg. I got a Snorlax, and that was badass.
Nice. Yeah. I was about this close from getting a Venusaur, but I missed it. It timed out on me.
Oh, you like one popped up like an actual Venusaur?
Last month I went to a meetup and there was a Venusaur and people started screaming and we got there probably about 10 seconds too late.
Oh no.
Yeah, it sucked.
That's wicked cool. But what about you, man? How you been?
Dude, I've been fantastic. Just been busy, been grinding all that stuff, and thankfully lots of videos have been in the making and all that too. So I just kind of like stagger my releases and all that. But some of the modding videos are coming back for anybody who's happy about that. A lot of them I end up putting back up, but like there's a few where I was like, well, I accidentally deleted those, and they probably could have been okay. I should probably re-upload them because even though they're years old, they're actually still decent tutorials.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but aside from that, I'm not doing the 3DS stuff because even like a lot of people have asked me to re-upload those. I'm like, they're outdated. So at this point, I don't really want them out there because I'm like, they're pretty outdated. So
even the homebrew stuff in terms of like ninja hacks and stuff like that, you're not doing that at all.
Dude, the 3DS scene, it's just like, it was like right here. And within like 24 hours, it just goes like, it just skyrockets off.
Yeah.
Like, literally, when I finished, like, my ARM9 loader hacks tutorial, when I finished recording the source video, like, all the raw footage, it was outdated.
Gotcha.
Yeah. By the time I rendered it, it was outdated again. And then I uploaded it, and it's like, wow, like, this part of the guide significantly changed.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, anyway. I'm not going to be, mine's never coming back. Ever. Like, yeah.
Yeah. So with with modding stuff, we might as well talk about some on here because this is ModChat of all things, and we've been talking about everything but that. No, but Dano, you said you've been a bit out of the loop because of like life and work and life and more life, right?
Definitely, yeah. I haven't looked at before. I would check everything at least like once or twice a week, and now it's probably been like a month, honestly, since I've checked anything. Because it just went from packing to moving to to unpacking to I haven't gotten a chance. And we just got internet like 3 days ago, so I didn't even have internet for like a week here.
Mm-hmm. No, I gotcha. So there's one thing that I kind of want to show on here now. Do you remember about last year? It was the December 2015 episode. We talked about the Cobra Blackfin.
Wasn't that like a torrent thing?
Kind of. It's for the Vita.
Yeah, but I thought it was from what I remember, it was like it was a peer-to-peer sharing.
Yeah, I'm laughing because this one thing I want to get into. This is so the Vita scene's been just exploding, but what is it right here? Okay, I'm gonna try and screen share if I can. We'll do screen 1, sure, and hopefully you all can see my screen now.
Yeah.
Let me see. I'll just do presents to everyone on there. Anyways, what ended up happening is this guy, Pixel Butts, him and I, we've actually talked personally a few times, but he actually ended up getting a Blackfin, and he reviewed it and everything. And this is like, this is the most convoluted, stupid device I've seen.
Trying to see. Okay, so
wait, Daniel, vape again. I need to get that.
What?
Oh, yeah, I saw you vaping. I wanted to get that on here.
Oh. Let's see. For the sake of making this easier, I'll be calling things.
Okay, fine. Daniel got shy. Anyways, yeah, no. So right here, pretty much, this is just kind of, if I remember, I'll put the link down below. It's on Assembler Games, and this guy did a really in-depth review. Like, he pretty much was looking for an official source to buy this somewhere that wasn't AliExpress. And he ended up buying it. Like, let's see, there was some important notes on there. So it doesn't even work on the latest firmware. At the time this was released, it worked on firmware 3.6. Well, 3.6 was the latest firmware. 3.61 is out now because of an exploit that I'm going to talk about here soon. But yeah, like, first off, let's see, the PSTV, which is just, you know, the little, like, set-top box, that didn't even work with this. It had really finicky stuff. Like, you had to be, like, almost, like, this far away from your computer. Well, you can't even see it because I'm just, like, I'm not, you had to be, like, a foot or two away from your computer. It didn't work well with USB 3, like, almost at all. And then the thing is, like, this is the most confusing thing to me. So, Dano, do you kind of briefly remember us talking about it about a year ago?
A little bit, yeah. I do remember us covering it in an episode.
Okay, so the thing with this is it's not a flash cart by means. You pretty much, on the Vita itself, you have a, what is it? Its
whole purpose is piracy, right? That's what it said, basically.
No, it's not. It's not. Like, it's not supposed to be. But, like, they keep saying it's not a pirate tool, and then I'm looking and I'm like, it looks like piracy to me, so that's what I don't get.
Yeah, because, well, I thought in the episode we covered on it, it basically looked like it was 100%. Like, there was nothing like anyone would really do with it other than pirate.
Okay, so this is how it's supposed to be, right? You end up getting, and the thing is, like, the most, let me see if there's photos on here. So here he has some photos. It is one of the ugliest devices I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's pretty, and it's like, look at the fingerprint, like, it gets mad fingerprints on it.
Yeah, dude, it's horrible. So as you can see, like, this little card right here, like the bootleg looking one, that is supposed to be the part that you actually put into your Vita itself. And you put an SD card in there. So logically, you think you're like, oh, I copy a Vita ISO and I put it on there and pop it in my Vita and it works. Something, though, with the Vita's authentication and the way it works with cards, I can't really explain it too well, but in short, it kind of uses this as, like, an authentication device. So you end up having, like, this USB, if you see it, like, there's, like, the USB dongle right there that you plug into your computer, and you plug the fin into your computer, and there's, like, 7 games you could put in there at once, and you can dump the ISOs off that. Then with that, you can transfer it over to the little emulated card type thing, and you put that in your Vita, and then you can play as long as the game has been authenticated on a server.
But, wait, first off, Vita uses Vita uses cards? I thought Vita used discs.
No, the PSP used discs. The Vita uses cards.
I had no idea. I don't own a Vita. I've never actually used a Vita.
No, that's all good.
Huh. Okay, so it's 100% card based, and so you're saying it can load up to 7 at a time of your. These are things that you own though, like 7 things that you actually own.
Yeah. So for example, like, I could take 7 of my games, pop them in there, and dump them all as ISOs, and then depending on your region, you end up uploading all the ISOs to a server that Blackfin provides.
Okay.
And then from there, I think it's like some weird thing, like, okay, let's say if you and I have Cobras, right? If we both have this device, and let's say I have Jack and Daxter, and you have, I don't know, Ratchet and Clank, and I don't own Ratchet and Clank. So I guess kind of what I'm understanding after I talk with Pixel Butts a bit about this is I can go onto the server, download the Ratchet and Clank ISO that you uploaded, and then I can put it onto my card EMU and authenticate it as long as you have the Ratchet and Clank cartridge inside of one of these Blackfins that is hooked up so it can actually authenticate.
Sounds dumb.
I know! And
sounds
like,
really dumb.
And then the thing is, it was really funny because, like, so we were talking about it, and he was trying to tell me, he's like, no, it's not a piracy device. And I'm like, well, wait, so if I can, like, download the ISO and play it, like, if you have the cartridge authenticated, does it work? He's like, well, it's like game sharing. I'm like, but that still sounds like piracy because I'm downloading the ISO and I need you to authenticate it live.
Yeah, that definitely doesn't sound like that's legal.
It sounds real broken as well too with it, and it's just like it's not even the legality so much I have an issue with. I mean, that's kind of a gray area there. It's more just like the complexity of this device is what annoys me.
Well, was it actually ever officially launched by the team?
It was.
Okay, but
Yeah,
I
no,
mean,
this thing is out. You can actually buy it. But then the funny thing is, so it doesn't work on the latest firmware. So he couldn't even test it properly. He's like the only one in the US that has it. So he was the only one putting games on the server. And also he didn't have a Vita on 3.57 or lower. So he was just like, yeah, no, I can't test the games properly, and I can't test to see how other things work.
what does it run too? Because wasn't it expensive?
Let's see how price. Let me look at price.
Okay.
No, he didn't even put the price on here. Huh. I would assume it's over $100.
I think I thought when we had looked at it back then that there had been like roughly people guessing how much it was going to cost, and I think it was well over $100.
Something like that, yeah. No, I just know with what was going on, because it's like, yeah, the Blackfin is not an all-in-one solution to pirate, does not allow pirating since it requires game cards to work unless a surplus of them are available. So
this is perfect. Oh, it says the Blackfin
is not perfect, but even with this, so in theory, this is the thing, because I asked him about this and he couldn't verify with me because there's no one else on the fucking US server to test it.
Yeah.
I asked him, I was like, okay, so if you have one card that is on there, could like 5 people download the ISO and authenticate off that card? And he said he didn't know. And like, we were unsure of it. So this is just like the weirdest, most not user-friendly device that I've seen for playing games on a system.
To me, it seems like it only would have been successful if like a shitload of people owned them.
Yeah.
You know? Because like based off what I'm seeing though, I don't think that let me see. All-in-one does not have this first. See, I think that only one can be authenticated at a time per one. Because if you look, it says does not allow pirating since it will require game cards to work unless a surplus of them are available, making me think that it only works one at a time unless there's a bunch of them that are being uploaded.
That's what it's saying, and I guess that's what it's implying there. The problem is we really can't test it unless someone else buys it, which no one else is going to get it, because like even this is the only review I've really seen, and even at the top he said, card EMU has fallen apart from general use. Like the little card thing right there, the bootleg card that they give you, that thing fell apart just from him using it.
Yeah. Well, if you look at it, it looks very flimsy just from the picture.
Oh, yeah. No, he even said that, like, in the, where the hell was it? Was it the durability or something? He was reading this here. Yeah, the build quality, 2 out of 10. The plastic feels cheap and flexible, but that's to be expected if you ask me. Just don't abuse it and you'll be fine. You can miss the card reader port if you don't angle your card properly, so watch out. The card EMU feels flimsy and cheap, so be careful if you have nails. Points also deducted for the card EMU being an issue on the Slim Vita with the game card cover. He also mentioned on here, like, if you have the Slim Vita, it doesn't even fit in there properly.
Got you. So it's junk.
Yeah, no, it's horrible from what I see. I was like, oh, this is god awful.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, he gave it an extremely poor review, and like I give him props for at least getting it and trying it out, but like the thing just did not work properly at all for what he was doing.
Yeah, no, I totally remember because there was something, wasn't it December when this came out as well as something for the 3DS?
What was going the Sky 3DS Plus, that was it.
Okay, yeah, because I remember there was that one episode where there was like this, and I saw it out, like there was actually like we were like kind of hyped because like, oh wow, like we got this and this, like there was actually stuff that was being talked about, and I totally completely like forgot about that. It was Cobra, right? The Cobra.
Yeah, it's Cobra that did it.
Yeah, so I totally forgot about it until you mentioned it right now. But it sounded like I think that if we go back and watch the video, we were excited, but like we were kind of also at the same time like unsure about it because
I think we were mostly unsure because we were like, oh cool, this is something for the Vita, but it's not out yet, and it requires this like weird, like I'd never seen that type of authentication through like a server and all that for doing this. Like I don't know. The only positive thing I see from this is this was a decent way to dump your Vita collection.
Yeah, in bulk.
Mm-hmm.
Since you can do up to 7 at a time, yeah. But I mean, again, that's still very pricey for just a dumper, you know.
It's very slow as well too, from what I know. So yeah. So Pixel Butts, I mean, he's a cool guy. Thank you for purchasing this. Thank you for doing the review. Thank you for also talking to me privately about this as well too. Because I just hit him up on Twitter. I was like, dude, can I ask you some things? Because I'm really confused with this. And his thing, he clarified some things for me. But he's also like, dude, I'm confused as well too. Like I don't even know how to properly use this. Like not in a bad way, but it's like he couldn't properly use it because he didn't have a low enough firmware Vita, and then the thing like half broke, and there was no one else in the U.S. region to test it with.
That freaking sucks.
It was ridiculous. It was ridiculous, man.
So, quick here. I want to see. I want to see if I can find, because you didn't see right now, right? Like a place that was like what they were going for roughly.
You can look if you want to. Like, let's see, let me see where he ended up buying it from, because he purchased a Blackfin as soon as it was available from somewhere other than Taobao. So
on their website, if you go to resellers, there is none.
Really?
On Blackfin under resellers, it says please email us to be listed, and there's nobody.
Wow. That's so bad.
That is bad.
That's
Blackfin.
so bad.
Dongle.
I mean, the funny thing is, right after this came out, I mean, the 3.6 Vita hack HENkaku ended up coming out, and I mean, that's just I don't know. I would say it's probably accelerating as fast as the 3DS scene did.
I found a website selling it called Axio Game. Looks like it's going for 120.
Not worth it at all.
No.
Yeah.
Not close.
Yeah, and if y'all don't believe me, just look at like apparently the one guy in the United States who purchased this.
Right. What a fail for their whole like dev team, because this freaking had to take a long time, for them to work on.
Yeah, it's because I just don't think that there was there was no proper exploit that was available for this. So they kind of just used what they had, and it's like, so they might tell me, they're like, okay, well, you make some better, and I'll tell you I can't make anything better. So I give them props for making this, but it's just like the design has been bad on there. Like it was flimsy. Selling it, like you couldn't even find a proper way to buy it.
No.
Yeah.
1 sec. Matt Mod said, "Are you guys gonna be re-uploading this video after the stream?" Yeah, I believe you said, Mario, that you're gonna have a complete video of the video.
Absolutely, yeah. So by latest, because it's gonna DVR it anyways. By latest tomorrow, probably tomorrow, it will like be available to the public. So you'll at least get a preview version of it, I guess.
Yeah, and then he's also gonna have the.
Yeah, that's the thing. I need to do all the other metadata, the audio, all that other fun stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So it'll be there.
Yeah. It'll be there for sure. Yeah. Also with let's see, Silence64, he's saying, I know this probably won't be answered yet, but will you do more of these live? And like we're planning to actually like, I'm okay taking this live if you're okay with it.
I like live a lot better. It's more fun for me, and it's easier for me to pay attention because I can see you versus like us just talking like we're talking through the phone or something.
Exactly. Yeah, which I mean, podcasts are still cool and all that, but I think this is also going to blend it together, because if you're watching this on YouTube, you actually have something to watch, where it's like, hey, if you want to watch this on like, a second monitor, there's actually movement and all that stuff. While as, with a podcast, if you actually want to consume it as a podcast, we give you an MP3 version anyways.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So you get the best of both worlds.
Exactly, and also it allows us to be a little bit lazy, because it's like we can live stream and do the camera thing at the same time.
I don't know. That's just being smart.
We try, but yeah, no. Daniel's actually been wanting to take it, do the live stream thing for
a long time, man.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm not like I just. It's not that I'm against live streams. It's just I don't do them all that often. But I've been doing them a bit more than the past 2 months. I've done like 3 live streams.
It's definitely different. I remember the first time I did a live stream, like first couple times actually, and even when I did that, like I think it was a 24-hour live stream or at least 12-hour live stream. I don't know. It was a long
hours, I think.
Yeah. It was a little weird for me. Like I had little moments where I was like kind of like nervous in a sense, because it's like like things aren't working right or blah blah blah. But I don't know. I'm just kind of the point now where like nobody's is perfect 24/7. I don't care like how long. It's live streaming. Like nothing, I mean, we don't have a full crew of people that are here like ensuring that everything is correct and running 100% smoothly. So I don't know. I feel like as long as you're doing your best, like people are gonna understand. And if they're not, then they're dicks.
No, I gotcha. Yeah, that's I mean, I think the one reason why I really got burned out on live streaming too is because, the last time I ever tried live stream at my old apartment, it was just it kept breaking after like a minute, and then it got me really pissed off. But then even prior to that, I'd helped with a friend's live stream where he did Extra Life, which I'm going to be doing that again this year. So if you all saw Extra Life in 2014, we're going to be doing a 2016 Extra Life, and that was pretty much gaming for 24 hours. And we live streamed I slept for like 5 hours, but he live streamed for 24 hours.
It's for charity, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was so that really burned me out. Also, the funny thing was like the first hour or two, everything that could have gone wrong went wrong.
At least it was the first hour.
Yeah, but no, I like because like one of the worst things you could do with a live stream, and for any of you all, and by the way, Matt, that poster always does that because I have a damn fan there. No, the issue with the live stream and all that was like if you're one of the worst things you could do is just be stagnant on a live stream. If it's just like if it keeps freezing, if there's glitches, if there's no movement, like you're at a pause screen, your live stream is gonna die real quick. And what ended up happening was we were at a pause screen for Payday 2 for like 45 minutes because we couldn't get the live stream going. And then it started, and then there was an issue, and then there was another issue, and then Charlie had to go to the bathroom, and then he came back, and then he had to go to the bathroom again because we ate Burger King the other night, and he had diarrhea. So he was in there for like 20 minutes at a time. And I'm like, Charlie, we need you out here. And he's like, Danny, no, it's going to be another like 10 minutes. And I think he went to the bathroom like a third time, and then his girlfriend ended up coming in, and it was my first time meeting her. I was like, oh, hey, how you doing? And she looked like really shaken up. I'm like, oh, I hope everything's okay. Then he was talking to her for like another 20 minutes because on the way over, she ended up getting into a car accident.
Oh, God.
Yeah, and then we were cool after that, but it was just like, oh, my God, everything that could have gone wrong went wrong. And I was like sitting there apologizing to the viewers. I'm like, listen, I'm so sorry. We're at like a 1 hour live stream of nothing but the Payday 2 menu.
That's awful. That's pretty rough.
Yeah, after that it was fine though. After that, and it was weird because for some reason he had a really low upload speed, and both him and I were uploading, and like because we were doing the live stream, and that was the only time his live stream was ever perfect.
Huh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely sounds like a learning experience.
Yeah. It was fun. It was definitely fun.
Yeah, they're very much so interesting.
Normally, whenever we hang out, though, like he's like, "Hey, do you want to get something to eat?" I'm just like, "Hey, let's go to Burger King." He's like, no, just after that event.
He's done with Burger King for life.
Well, he tested it too later on, a few weeks ago. Like a few weeks later, he's like, "Yeah, Danny, I ate Burger King again. The same thing happened, so it definitely wasn't a fluke."
Burger King does not sit right with your boy Charlie.
Yeah, well, even I myself, I was like, that's why I really don't eat there anymore either, because I don't eat fast food as often. But I was like, I don't know, like Burger King doesn't sit well. Fire truck. Burger King doesn't sit well with me either.
Huh. My butt, have you just woken up, or are you very tired? I woke up probably like an hour ago, maybe. It was Erin's friend's birthday yesterday, and she had a little get together. It was not a lot of people. It was probably just like 5 or 8 people or something like that, and I thought we were going to be there for a little bit. We ended up being there for later than we expected, and I had a few beers, and so I don't know.
Okay, how many is a few?
I think I had like 5.
Okay, Dana, that's not a few.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, so. Yeah,
it's a collection.
A collection of beers. I planned on getting up at 10 and like taking her home and taking a shower and stuff like that. And I woke up at like 12:30 and just like, oh God. So yeah, I'm not really tired, but I'm not tired.
Of course.
No, well, that explains it, or I'm just paying too much attention. Yeah,
we have so thank you very much for your viewership. Where you could just like, I feel like Matt would be the type of guy where he would just come up to you and be like, Daniel, are you okay?
Yeah, he's just like
you just like break down. You're like, no, everything's been going wrong. Like, I'm not saying it's like going on right now, but it's like it just have that sixth sense with someone.
Like overly analytical.
I understand.
Going on, Evil Dash. Yeah, I was bummed, dude, because I went to GameStop last week and I had a box of like 200 Doom posters, and I was like, oh, sick, because I guess the company. Really? The company sent them out like way after the game had already launched, so like they got them like 2 or 3 weeks after the launch, and so nobody was really taking them. And so I grabbed one for my room. I was like, cool, like my first official poster. And I was waiting because I didn't have any like tacks or double-sided adhesive. And I came home and my dog had peed on my floor and destroyed my poster, dude. That was probably one of the saddest things about it. Like I didn't mind having to clean it, and I didn't let her out in the morning before.
But wait, so even though there were 200, you only got one? Yeah,
I only took one, dude. I was like not trying to. Take all of them. My buddy took one too, because like the lady told me to take 2 as well, which I should have, because one side was different
than the other. To them, it's like, oh wait, we're getting rid of stuff that's worth 2 cents.
Yeah, exactly. So I should have got more. I mean, I might even, if I go back there, I wouldn't be surprised if they still had them, because there was so many left just a week ago or whatever.
No, I gotcha.
So
yeah. You want to talk about HENkaku a bit, or do you know what that is?
Talk about what?
Vita native hack.
No, I have no idea. You talk. I'll just listen. You educate.
Okay, so I've only done one video on HENkaku, but like it's pretty much what Vita owners have been waiting for quite a while. So let's see. When did the Vita come out? Let's see. Vita release date. I want to say it came out in 2012. Okay, it came out February 2012. 4 years, like over four. Technically, no, it was introduced. I guess this was in Japan, December 17th of 2011. So probably about 4.5 years. We finally got a user-friendly, reliable method of getting Vita native homebrew on there. So in case you don't know, because a lot of people are going to say, oh yeah, there was like TNV and all these other custom firmwares. It's like, not really. Even some people might say VHBL or Vita half-byte loader. Not that either. So first off, you need to kind of understand the architecture of the Vita. The Vita itself, that's its own thing. It has a built-in PSP emulator, much like how the Wii U has VWii built into it, which is the Wii emulator. So almost immediately out the gate, the Wii U, like the VWii side of it was modified, and you could soft mod it. Same thing happened with the Vita. Almost immediately out the gate, people were able to access the PSP emulator, and there's two major modifications. There are ePSP exploits, where you end up downloading a game, you run a modified game save on that game, and it boots you into the custom firmware. And that involves you getting a PSP game that's exploitable. So, no big deal there. Even though it's still cool. Then there's another one that is Vita half-byte loader, which that's normally the first thing to get running, and that doesn't allow you to access the full emulator. All it does is just allow you to run PSP homebrew on the Vita. So the nice thing is with that, it's like you still get homebrew, you still get that access on there, but you're only really limited to the PSP side, which, you know, isn't all that fun because the Vita itself is still a pretty kick-ass device.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I want to say about a year ago, Rejuvenate ended up coming out, which I never got to use that. I actually purchased a second Vita, and unfortunately, it was on a firmware like just one bit higher than Rejuvenate. But Rejuvenate was like the first public method, at least, to run native Vita homebrew on there. So you could run it on the Vita side, and it was awesome. Problem is, it was complex to set up. You had to use a older firmware. The stuff on there wasn't like the homebrew just wasn't as good because there weren't that many developers on it, because it required just, you know, a harder setup on there. It was less convenient and just a few other things. Also, you know, older firmware. Yeah. So that's been around. So native Vita homebrew isn't new. It's been out for about a year. But what ended up happening is there was this thing called HENkaku that was released, which essentially all you have to do, it was on Vita firmware 3.6 and below. You go to the HENkaku website, you hit install, and then it says, do you want to void your warranty? Sure. And then it ends up running a WebKit exploit of some kind, and it then ends up crashing your browser and then installs something called Molecular Shell on your Vita. So then you have your first piece of native Vita homebrew, and when you open up Molecular Shell, it is just a way to access your, like, it's a content management system. So you can modify all the files, you can copy and paste all that stuff, and you can even start up an FTP server on there so you can transfer files between your computer and your Vita. Infinitely easier to set up and use than Rejuvenate, and it's great.
So wireless FTP?
Yeah.
Huh.
Unless you're using the PSTV.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So what ended up happening with that was they also explicitly, like, they made it so that it's not going to run pirated games, or it's not going to, like, so they put the exploit out there, and they already released the source code as well too. So now the nice thing is, unfortunately, it's like a tethered jailbreak in a way. So whenever you fully power down the Vita, you have to turn it back on, and you have to run the exploit somehow. Now there's other methods of doing it. So normally the way you have to do it, the optimal way, is you have to go to the HENkaku website, it downloads the latest version of it, and when you have it downloaded, every time you want to run it again, when you turn it off, you have to go and trigger that exploit in the web browser. So with that, they've now released offline solutions. So for example, you could just like run a local host on your computer here and have it connect out to your computer, or you can run a local host on your phone that has a application for it. So you literally just go to the local host for wherever the device is hosting it, and then you can just run the exploit there, and that's it.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's new. Like this is new or no? You said
it's
year goes when they came
no,
out.
it's the past few weeks.
Okay.
Yeah. So pretty much I'm going to do screen sharing again on here, because this is one thing I'd actually recommend checking out. This is share my screen. So in case anyone doesn't know, I'm a Redditor. I do love my Reddit, but Vita Hacks has been great on here, and this has been an excellent resource. And here I've been able to see it, grow and all that other fun stuff. So pretty much what ended up happening was now people have been making a big deal about piracy. This has been here since the beginning on here, just people wanting to get a hold of any way to run pirated Vita games and stuff. But really, like you get Vita Shell on there. There's a new firmware out that's 3.61 that ends up patching this, so don't run 3.61. But then there's been some other developments. So you're seeing a ton of homebrew come out. Recently, they end up getting write access to the Vita completely. So now you can modify any of the files on there. So now people are looking into making firmware spoofers so that you can spoof what you're spoof to get online. They're looking into downgraders as well, too. Like, I haven't even read this one yet, but possible 3.61 to 3.6 downgrade. And then there's been 2 releases, like game releases. One of them, it was an Adventure Time game where it was a dev copy of the game that you could download and install. I'm not advocating it, just informing, because it is illegal since it's copyrighted content. And I guess there was another guy on a Chinese forum who has said recently that he found a way to decrypt games and he can install them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So we're getting there. I mean, it was kind of one of those things. It is with due time it's going to happen, but the HENkaku exploit itself was not designed to facilitate piracy. Yeah.
So I got a question not related to modding, but around the Vita in general. Do you like your Vita a lot?
Oh, dude, I love it.
Because I've heard it's pretty solid. But the thing is, with it being cartridge based, how long are the games? Are they decently long titles or no?
Oh yeah, no, dude, they are. I mean, you got to think about this too. The Nintendo, like the original Nintendo, also had really small games by today's standards, but those were super long games.
Yeah, you're right.
But you dump them and it's like a few megabytes. That's it.
Got you.
Yeah. No, dude, it's an excellent JRPG handheld and all. But as you can see, they got RetroArch going on here. So let's see what's going on with GitHub. Well, they now have they have a new UI available, which is pretty neat on there, which is literally the XMB. Let's look at. I haven't seen this yet. Let's see what's going on with this. This is on hackinformer.com, but intentionally brick carry out. So for this, if you're doing a downgrade, let's see, PS Vita 361, a firmware choice, battery pack half empty, not mandatory, content manager assistant, Charles, I don't know who that is, and a hex editor.
It's me, Charles.
Yes, it's me. Quite. Okay.
So someone asked in the chat, what do you think about GameStop asking for fingerprints? And I don't know if you've experienced it, but I actually noticed too, last time I did a couple of trade-ins, it might have been 6 months ago or so, and they did actually take my fingerprint at GameStop.
Yeah, I think it's because that's a more reliable way than an ID.
Of keeping track of how many people are doing trade-ins or what's being traded in?
What's being traded in, who's trading in what, and mostly they're doing it for stolen stuff.
Got you.
Yep, because the way it works is you trade in a bunch of stuff. So let's say, Daniel, I steal your Xbox One. I go to GameStop, I end up trading that in. It has a serial number, and then even with that, I have to provide my information. Then what happens is you might end up going to GameStop and you're looking for, your stolen Xbox One, and then they find it, the serial number matches. All they have to do is say, oh, hey, there's this serial number. Let's find it in our database. Oh, hey, this is the person who ended up selling it to us.
I still feel like it's kind of an invasion of privacy in a sense.
Yeah, but then again, you also have to. I mean, it is, but at the same time, it's kind of your own choice to go to GameStop in that fact as well too. I think other people are going to be leading out with it, but for now, at least, GameStop is the only place I know of that's doing that.
Yeah. I mean, I gave them my fingerprint because I don't really give a shit that much, but at the same time, I'm just it's a little interesting. Not too many places ask you for your fingerprint.
I understand. So even with this, I'm kind of just skimming this. This is so general, and it's I don't really understand it too much, at least right now. All we know is there's a possible method to downgrade from 3.61 to 3.6.
I wish I had my coworker in this because he is a pretty good programmer. So he every time there's something he understands a lot more than I do, even if he doesn't understand what it is. You can look at the code and be like, oh yeah, this is what it's doing.
No, I gotcha. Yeah, so there's been that, and the cool thing is now, because I think 3.55 is the latest firmware on PS4. Pretty much somebody ended up doing a proof of concept where they kind of just ported the HENkaku exploit to the PS4, and it works.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Wait, say it again?
So the HENkaku exploit, which I'll like show you on here, HENkaku. Let me find the actual site and I can share it on here. Screen share, sure, this screen again. So right here on the HENkaku page, and pretty much here, if you're just on it on a desktop, no big deal. But like what you need to do is you need to hit the install button and then you just install that. But the way the exploit works, the guy just ended up porting it over to the PS4 and tried it, and it at least crashes the system. And he's able to get in. And like, there's no homebrew or anything. There's no jailbreak available yet or anything. So we just know the exploit does work.
It works on PS4?
Yeah.
Huh, that's interesting.
Yeah, so that will be a neat new thing as well, too, to see kind of what ends up happening with that.
I mean, I'm sure like it's going to get patched if, you know.
Oh, definitely. The thing is, honestly, I'll just say this because like the Vita stuff, the PS4 stuff, even the Wii U, I've finally been messing with the Wii U stuff now. On like 5.5.1. The thing all these things have, and 3DS, all these things have in common with the exploits is that they're based upon the web browser. Like honestly, it's 2016. I think companies should just stop putting fucking web browsers in consoles.
Yeah.
If they want to secure them a tiny bit, because like, okay, like 10 years ago, the PSP 2006, it was awesome to have a web browser on there. At this point, it's like, why would I, like, for example, like right here, I'm like, every console I have sitting here has a web browser by my computer. My computer is the best web browser I have available. If it's a portable system, I have a smartphone. Like in 2016, there's not a need for a internet browser on your console.
It's true. I don't really know. I mean, I've used my buddy's PS4 web browser like once or twice, but that's it, once or twice. And it wasn't like I needed to use it, you know?
Mm-hmm. No,
yeah, it's definitely not really like a feature that I don't think anyone would be like, I was going to buy this, but then there's not a web browser anymore, so I'm not going to buy it.
Yeah, no, as I said, in like 2005, for example, when the PSP came out, awesome. Web browser was great on there. Now, damn it, 2016... not as needed. Even like when these consoles came out 2012, 2013, like they didn't really need the web browsers.
No.
So
no, it was definitely a kind of pointless feature.
Yeah, so I mean that's been the fun part with that. Like all the Vita stuff there. Also with the what the hell was going on. So even on the 3DS side of things, there's now a way where you can downgrade the latest firmware. And I haven't done it myself, but like latest firmware is 11, and there's no actual game exploit. Well, there's kind of one, I guess, but you need to buy an exploit type game, and it's using a DSiWare exploit. And you do something where you kind of just like mess around with system restore. So you need another like fully hacked up 3DS, and you kind of just do something with like dumping over the NAND and doing a system restore over to the unmodified system.
Gotcha.
So it's interesting seeing all this stuff there. I'm being very general about that, and I might be completely wrong on there, so people please correct me if I am, but I haven't done it. So yeah.
Yeah, the Vita stuff's really cool. I mean, again, like I've been out of the loop and I don't have a Vita. I was close to buying one like once or twice, but no, that's really, really cool. That's awesome.
I was gonna say I'm probably just like giving you like information overload right now.
Yeah, I'm just like cool, because for me, like complete noob when it comes to Vita, you know, like 100%. I don't like all the things you're saying. I'm just like, huh. But I mean, it makes sense. It does make sense. Like,
yeah, the WebKit, it's kind of basing it off the WebKit exploits, and the WebKit exploit has been available on the PS4 for quite a while. Like on 1.76, that's how you can do things on there. So you can like, there technically is a PS4 jailbreak. It's not as refined as like the PS3 jailbreak that you'd think of.
Yeah, there's not nearly as much stuff, right, that's been built around it or built for it. Like, there's no full custom firmwares, right?
Oh no,
it's not even close to that.
Oh no, not at all.
No, I didn't think so.
Yeah. So yeah, that's that. I mean, you can do some stuff like you can run Linux on there. You can do a few things, which is like that's fantastic. Cool. But it's just the big problem is too. The reason why these new exploits are great in terms of like development and all that stuff is due to the fact that you can. You get a bunch of new people in there. Like, for example, the Wii U scene did not explode until 5.5.1 was moddable. The 3DS scene didn't explode until, I want to say, 10.2, 10.3 was downgradable. And then even like hopefully, well, the Vita scene, this is exploding now because the latest firmware was exploitable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I'll comment on this. Someone said it made me laugh that no one is touching the Xbox One. I remember a lot of people were saying they're just like, oh yeah, the Xbox One's going to get hacked up first because the 360 got hacked up really early on. It's like, that's not necessarily true. I've also talked with a few people that have said it's quite a secure system, but also I feel like not many people just want to really touch it right now, but I'm sure people are working on it in private.
Yeah, well, I I know a lot of people were thinking that like there was going to be something a lot sooner than already now. Because I mean, how old are the consoles now? They're coming up in 3 years, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been telling people minimum 3-4 years. You gotta wait. Like the Wii U, we're getting some nicer stuff on there, but that took what, like I'd say 2015, so about 3 years. PS4, I mean, that took about 2 years, I want to say, but even then, nothing's really refined on there. We got the basic exploits. The Vita took like 4.5, something like that. So it takes time.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are no longer in the days where you could just jam down a button like on the PS1, for example, and you could do whatever the hell you want to. That's long past us.
How long did it take on the 360 though? It wasn't that long, was it, before the King Kong exploit?
King Kong exploit. Let me see. 360 King. I don't know when that was released, to be honest. So was it really 2000? No, 2007 is. I'm seeing posts from 2007. It took less than 2 years then, is what it looks like.
A year and a half for that one.
Yeah. Right now, okay, so March 30th, 2007, new King Kong shader exploit for Zell and Gentoo Linux live CD for the 360. So that March, excuse me. So that was about. No, that was over 2 years. Well, no, less than 2 years. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, right under, I think.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, even with the 360, I think I'll share this screen on here if I can. This is a huge, like super old thing from Quick Jump if you're looking at this right here. But yeah, no, this is one of the the first major exploit that was going on with that. But even then, like this required you to flash the DVD drive and all that, and it was so much harder to do because
because freaking Executor didn't have all their tools.
Exactly, and Jungle Flash and all that stuff that wasn't available.
No.
Yeah. What about let me see. I don't know when I think it was like 3 or 4 months into the system's release, we did see a flash DVD drive. But I'd mentioned this. I don't know if I mentioned it on ModChat. I've mentioned it at least on the channel before. The reason why 360 drive flashing was done really early on is because near the end of the original Xbox's life cycle, you remember people used to end up flashing, what the hell was it? Not flashing, but they end up soft modding the original Xbox, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what ended up happening with that was near the end of the Xbox's life cycle, people found a way to have a stock, unmodified original Xbox, but they end up taking because some of them used Hitachi DVD drives. People found a way to take the actual chip off the drive board in the Hitachi DVD drive, dump the firmware over to dump the firmware over to their computer, and then they ended up writing back a custom firmware it didn't use a DVD key, but they just wrote over a custom firmware to that, slapped it back on there, and then they were able to put this drive into a unmodified Xbox, and it was able to play ISOs. And that was near the end of the original Xbox's life cycle, and it was never released, but they end up using that same exploit for the original 360, because the first 360s came out with Samsung and Hitachi drives, and they just ended up trying, hey, the 360 uses Hitachi drives. Let's see if the same exploit works.
I thought that at the beginning of the Xbox 360, hot swapping was a thing still.
Well, even with hot swapping, you can't play a separate game hot swapping. You can play a modified game hot swapping.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, for example, on the PS1 and 2, hot swapping was a thing where you could use a game to boot up another game. On the 360 and probably the original Xbox, the only benefit of hot swapping is just you don't have to modify the NAND or the drive board at all on a system, and you could play a modified version of the game. So like someone I know, for example, that's how he used to do Halo 2 ISO mods, and then he ended up he had a stock Xbox, but he just ended up hot swapping for a Halo 2 ISO that he had modified, and he was able to take mods online.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So all that stuff happened, and then they just, as I said, I think the only difference was really when they ended up dumping the 360 drive. They're just like, oh, hey, now instead of a hard drive key, it uses a DVD key that resides on the console. So that was the only thing they had to be on the lookout for, was DVD keys instead.
Taking it back, history lesson.
Yeah, dude, I'm weird. I find this stuff fascinating, but I guess there's like thousands of other people that find it fascinating that subscribe to me for some reason. So thank you.
Yeah, you're not alone.
Yeah. Oh man. Anyways, I don't know. You got any other ideas for modding stuff specifically? Or are you good?
Off the top of my dome, not really. I mean, nothing exciting, like in terms of nothing new. You know. I mean, I saw there's quite a few like questions in the chat like regarding to modding stuff, and
that's what I was gonna say. Like I'd be down to move on explicitly to like the user interaction phase of this, which is all new for ModChat. So this is gonna be the first episode where we interact directly with the users.
Yeah, I definitely say we could probably address some of those. You know.
Yeah.
So I know there was
guys. If you have any questions, anything you want to discuss, I'd say for the next like 30 minutes, I'd be good.
Yeah. Well, I saw one that like I thought is kind of interesting. He says, "What are your thoughts on PS4 Neo and the Xbox Scorpio? Do you think they'll really live up to their promise that no one's going to be left behind?"
We don't really still. I mean, we know internal leak documents about the PS4 Neo, but it's more. I think it was necessary for VR, is what it seemed like. I'm getting the PSVR. I'll probably get the Neo. And then the Scorpio, it's like, I'm just worried about the price point on there. And it's like, is it going to come out too late? Because it's coming out not even this December, Daniel. It's coming out next December.
Oh, is that really what they've said is their official launch?
Yeah, the Scorpio is coming out December 2017. A lot can change then, and I feel like they're doing it to not only prepare developers, but also hopefully minimize costs so they can give it to the consumer at... They need to target $500 if they want to even try and sell it, which even $500 has shown to fail before. But if they really tout how powerful the system is for $500, I feel like they can sell that off.
Neo's dropping this year, though, no?
Still hasn't been announced, but apparently it's supposed to come out this year. And PS4 games coming out in Q4 of this year are supposed to have a Neo mode.
Okay,
yeah, I'll pick one up.
Because I read, what did I see somewhere? Yeah, I mean, I did see, though, that the Neo is supposed to basically be able to work alongside your existing hardware for people that already do have, like, the original PS4s. I don't know how, like, in terms of whether it's just going to be an add-on or, like, a completely separate unit. I mean, do you know? Like, because here's the thing. Like, I know people are going to be pissed off if they're coming out with a completely new PS4 that has it included, and it's a lot more expensive for people that already have a PS4 just to get the add-on. That shouldn't be the case. Like, they should have a version where it's like some kind of a plug-in standalone device per se that, they take out some of the cost because obviously you already have the core console versus having an all-in-one like new PS4 essentially that has the hardware integrated inside of it.
Yeah, I know for the VR stuff, they are going to have like a separate base type thing. I don't really know what all it does because I haven't looked into it too much, but I don't know how much extra power it's going to add, if any. Because apparently they were saying that like some developers were coming out and saying that the original PS4 wasn't going to be optimal for VR.
Huh. Yeah, because I know like my brother, for example, like he just picked up a PS4 like, I don't know, 2 months ago. He's going to be pissed off if like, yeah, he's going to be super pissed off. And then I also saw... I think it was like a tweet or something like that, and I like ended up reading it. Basically, it was from one of the main devs over at Microsoft that's been working on the Xbox One, and like the title for the article said like the end or last generation of consoles ? And when they asked the guy, basically, and they were talking about features for Xbox and stuff like that, and they said, like, what is the future of consoles going to look like? And he says it's pretty much like identical to PC gaming. Like the bridge between the two is like becoming closer and closer. Because if you think about it, like if VR is going to become the new standard, then like that kind of gets rid of a lot of the mobility that people enjoy of having a console game. Like just being able.
Yeah, I don't think VR is going to become a standard because people still want they'll want a controller. They'll want one of these things. Even I myself, I think VR is cool, but I'm still going to want to, I don't want something on my head all the time. But then no, even with that, it's like, well, Xbox, they've really been pushing for that. Now they're making Xbox more of a service, if anything. And then it's already x86 x86 architecture. So honestly, the only good thing that consoles are going to have here soon really is just a convenience of, hey, if you don't want a PC and you want something that looks aesthetically nicer and fits in somewhere like, let's say, a living room or a bedroom, and you don't want the most powerful system, you can have this pre-built console thing that's kind of like a PC that isn't. So I think with that, that's why they're still going to be able to sell consoles, but it's not going to be like, they're definitely bridging into that PC market, which they need to.
Yeah, no, definitely. And plus, I feel like, I mean, I could be wrong, but I feel like PC gaming in general is just become a lot more popular over the past certain amount of years. Like, I don't know, when I was younger, I did a little bit of PC gaming, but like from school standpoint and like growing up, like it was always like the nerdy thing, like, you know, oh, PC gaming, like that's, you know, like you picture the dude in the basement type thing. And as I've gotten older, and I mean, I got into PC gaming. I never thought I would, and I fucking love PC gaming. And I feel sorry that I ever, you know, had a ill thought towards PC gaming. But I definitely feel like younger generation, a lot of them are actually more so now growing up on PC gaming. Not that there's not, like, again, units are selling in terms of consoles. Like, there's not, like, I'm not saying that there's not a place, you know, for them still. But I just know that, especially, like, for example, I mean, even just like a game like Counter-Strike, which is exclusively a fucking PC game. It's not on console.
It was on 360.
Okay, yeah, it was on 360.
It was on 360. I think it was horrible on there, but it was on 360.
Yeah, you're right. I remember my buddy and me saw that. Like, what? It was on fucking 360. I'm just saying that, like, I feel that even just that game in itself has converted a lot of people over to PC just because it's an exclusive PC title at this point, and it has such a fucking massive community, you know. And there's just certain games, like, I mean, you got PC games like Dota, which is a huge competitive game. You've got League, which is a huge competitive game. You've got Warcraft, which has always been a very large, you know, PC MOBA, not MOBA, MMORPG. But I don't know. I feel like that there's a lot more people that have gotten into PC gaming over the past 5 to 10 years, but even just like heavily the last 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. I mean, would you feel that's accurate, that a lot of people have converted over to PC?
Because even just the act of building a PC itself and getting one set up is much easier than before. Like, I just thought, I was like, okay, well, you know, building a PC is kind of like Legos, but that really hasn't been the thing until the past like 5-6 years or so. Because if you go back and look at older PC architecture, it was so much messier to set things up. It was much harder, and there was really no standard many times across the board.
Yeah, it's really, really easy to build a PC.
So, yeah, now if someone's just like, oh yeah, no, it's super easy to build a PC, it's like, now it's super easy to build a PC. Was not easy to build a PC 15 years ago.
Yeah. No, everything's like pretty much universal at this point, you know? I mean, for the most part, it's like plug this in and plug this there. Like, I mean, I know a lot of the young kids that can build PCs, you know, and it's no big deal. The only people I think that can build PCs are people that are just like non-tinkerers that are like afraid of opening something up and like, oh no. But if you really like, I don't know, if you like watched a 5-minute YouTube video and you're like, oh shit, like that's all it goes into it. It's so easy, you know?
Yeah, that's what I did as well too. Like the first time I ever built a PC, I was kind of nervous and I just watched like a 20-minute video. It's like how to build a PC. And I followed that. And when I turned it on, the only issue I had was that the hard drive indicator light didn't turn on. And I was like, oh, that's because I put the little connector in wrong. Like I put it in upside down. So I just ended up taking it out, flipped it, put it back in, and it's like, oh, hey, it's blue.
Yeah. Actually, that's like the most annoying thing to me about building a PC is hooking up the fucking indicators on the from the case to the motherboard, because I've had quite a few either motherboards or cases that just don't have really good documentation, and I'm like, how the fuck? Like some of the ones I cannot figure out which direction they plug in, but most of the time it's really easy. But yeah, there's a couple times where, like you said too, I usually will attempt to hook up some of the stuff outside of the computer before throwing it in, just to make sure that everything's functioning, you know, properly before bolting it down.
Yeah, I mean, one of the standard things you should do, like for good practice, is like take out the motherboard and you know, set up the motherboard, put the RAM on there, put the CPU with the fan and all that, so, or the cooler on there, and at least have that basic.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep. Let's see. You want to pick out a comment or you want me?
I think I did that one. So you do this one.
Okay, sure. Let's see. I'll actually kind of knock two of these out because it's all related to Vita stuff. But let's see. Tried out the homebrew stuff for HENkaku. I've been playing a lot of Quake on there myself. I've tried out some of it, some of the emulators on there, and I mean it's been cool. It's been kind of time has been an issue for me. But I've been looking at other friends what they've been doing, and it's really neat to see what's going on. Like now you actually have decent ways of using a Vita on your computer as a controller and several other things. I need to actually install RetroArch there, so that'd be neat. I did play some like the homebrew games on there, and I had some fun with that. But then I was like, okay, I just modded this device and I'm playing like a 50-cent game on it. What am I doing? Other one here is from what I've read, the hack is in HENkaku only allows for homebrew like emulators, but not PS Vita ISOs. And yeah, that's what we said earlier with we're getting closer to running ISOs and all, but like right now you can't even get into the PSP emulator using HENkaku.
We had somebody say RJ tag versus RGH. Still interests me. Which one do you prefer? You go first. What do you prefer?
RJ tag.
Reasoning?
It was definitely a fun install, and then when you get the boot times going, like the boot times are just fucking fantastic on there, which I guess you could say for RGH. Personally, I've never had issues installing. I've known several people that have killed a few consoles using the RJ tag exploit. And I have a feeling, even though that's why Team Executor never explicitly stated it, I think that's why they end up killing it off pretty quick.
Yeah, I didn't do that many RJ tags, to be perfectly honest with you. I did like, I'd say in total, honestly, like 3. I mean, I made one for the tutorial, obviously, just to check it out myself, but I definitely did a lot more RGHs, and I know that wasn't the question, but in terms of like all of them, like the OG JTAG is my favorite, dude. I like the simplicity of it.
Oh, dude, OG JTAG's the best.
Yeah, for the win, for sure. Like, I don't know. I still have, I think I brought it with me here, but it's like just a Xenon running the old school, just regular JTAG wires, and I don't know. It was so much fun, and because for me that was the only thing that was available, and that was something that like. That was the reason why I essentially learned how to solder, was for that original JTAG hack. And it's just, I don't know, for me in like the last, I guess 2016 now, so the last eight-ish years or so, like that's kind of like nostalgic for me in the modding thing, because that's where a lot of it started from for me in terms of like, I don't know, in terms of everything, and like this journey basically into modding was that old school, just, and I did a lot of dumb things, like in terms of like having the freaking, I can't think of what they're called, the diodes. Like I had the diodes facing the wrong direction and stuff.
I did that too.
Yeah. And then like I'd have for the like HDMI ones where you have the two I had one where like the two diodes are basically, they crisscross over each other, and one of them is like it's not a through the board hole. It kind of just like goes on top. I had a really difficult time a lot of the times like getting that one to actually stay accordingly. Like it took me a while to like master basically like flexing the point correctly, and basically getting it to stay there. Because I mean, I even had an issue one time where I damaged the pad because the diode, the metal from the diode is like relatively strong in turn, like when you compare that to just the little fragile pad. So on some of them, I actually started like attaching a little wire to the end of the diode to basically give it a little bit of flex, just in case there was any pull from like putting the disk drive back in, or anything like that. But yeah, the old school JTAG hack was just a lot of fun for me. It was so simple, like in terms of wiring, compared to the other stuff that came after the fact, needing chips and stuff like that.
Of course. Yeah, the cool thing is with that as well too, because you were saying that's your like nostalgic thing. For me, I think that really plays into it as well, because like not really the JTAG, but it's actually like if it's not obvious at all, like not obvious, I love the original PlayStation. And it was actually because of that system got me into modding, because originally there was this game Throwkill that never came out that I really wanted to play, and found out to play it you had to install some type of thing called a mod chip in the system that let you play games off CDRs. Or you could get a boot disk and do this whole other swap trick type method that I didn't know that much about, because it's also when the internet was not 2016, so you couldn't find information as easier on there. Now it's a lot easier to do and everything, but no, that really got me into it. And then even with the whole like the thing on there like soldering, when I learned to solder, like one of the things I want to do is I wanted to install a mod chip in a PS1 because I was like, this is something I've been wanting for ages, and now I got like 5 modded PS1s.
You went overboard.
Just a little bit, Daniel, just a little bit. Don't judge me.
I'm not here to judge.
Okay, I gave one of them to my brothers and they love it, so it's all
There
good.
you go. There you go. As long as you're doing good things with them, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
As long as you're not becoming a hoarder, then we'll have the intervention.
I'm not opening the closet.
Yeah, please don't.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm not. Like, dude, I don't. I'm afraid to reveal what's in there.
You told me about your move with the people that came in and had to trying to serialize all your shit.
No, for anyone that doesn't know, when people when I was moving, I had some movers like helping me out and stuff, and they were packing, and anything that has a serial number, they have to write down. And one guy, he opens up my closet. This is like at my old apartment, and it's just like he tells a chick, let's say Elisa, he's like, "Hey, Elisa, stop writing down the serial numbers." And she's like, "No, we have to." He's like, "Stop writing down the serial numbers." She's like, "No, we have to. It's fine. Like, there's not. It's okay if it takes me a while." He's like, "No, Lisa, I don't think you understand. We're gonna be here all day if you're writing serial numbers." And I even told them, I was like, "Listen, I know it's kind of standard of you guys, but for time's sake, I'm authorizing it. You do not have to write down the serial numbers. If you lose anything that has a serial number on it, blame me. It's fine."
Yeah.
Yeah, and she looks, there's like 10 Xboxes in there. She's like, "We're not writing down the serial numbers."
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Oh, man.
Let's see. Do you use a test bench for testing components? I mean, I haven't built too many PCs really, but yeah, I've like basically ghetto rigged a test bench. So it's just essentially the motherboard's box with the anti-static, packaging and, everything kind of on top of that. But yeah, I did just to be sure. When I built my brother's PC, I didn't. Luckily, everything worked fine though. But yeah, you should just like, it's frustrating like to put it all in there and then find out after the fact that thing doesn't work after you bolted it down. Like it's kind of just a waste of time for yourself. So like something that you can do beforehand that'll save you a lot of time. Like you might as well. Like there's no reason not to.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I'd buy a test bench case. I mean, that's up to you. You can get some really cheap ones. Like I did see one for like 30 or 40 bucks on eBay the other day that my buddy was looking at. But I don't know. I kind of feel like that's like not really necessity. I mean, unless you're testing a lot of boards, I would probably just make one. I mean, you can ghetto rig one. I'm a huge supporter of ghetto rigging. Like if you can, save money and kind of like ghetto rig something that'll work just as well or close to you, then why spend the money?
No, I gotcha. Yeah, I think for no, I don't have a bench either. It's just whatever is available. So like either my dining room table. I have a dining room table now. Either my dining room table or my what the hell is it? My desk. Just whatever I use really. Just a solid surface that has some type of components and space to it.
Yeah, exactly. That's all. I mean, I could see again if you are like a YouTube channel or just a reviewer or something where you're getting constantly components sent to you, then like, yeah, for sure have a test bench set up. Because one, you want to look professional, and two, you're getting your use out of it. But if you're building like 1 or 2 PCs over the course of 3 to 5 years, like, I don't know, it seems like a waste of space and money.
Even for me, if I build 1 or 2 PCs a year, it's not worth it to me.
No. Yeah, it's kind of just pointless, really. But again, like there are some really cheap ones. Again, I did see one the other day for like 30 bucks or so. So if you'd like just gotta have it, then at least do your research because they do go really expensive for test benches. I've seen like some for a couple $100, and that's just really unnecessary when you think that it's just a temporary, holding platform essentially.
Mm-hmm.
There's no reason to get like a heavy high duty one or anything like that.
I gotcha. Yeah. I just this will be an easy question to tackle here, but do you use tablets? I use my tablet as an alarm clock.
That's funny.
Yeah, I make sure whenever an update comes out, I still update it and I root it again and everything. I'm like, okay, cool. Now you're gonna go back to being my sleep timer.
Yeah, I've got the HP Streak 7 that I bought that I made a video on, like how to hack your Xbox with a tablet, where I basically like JTagged. Or no, I think I RGH'd my Xbox just using the tablet, which was fucking cool.
That was cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I was really cool. Like I was excited. I was like, I remember that was the reason why I bought it, because I was at the store and like, the guy was like, yeah, it's running like Windows. I think it was
like $100, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was $100.
Totally.
And, yeah, and he was like, yeah. So I was like, so you're telling me that I can install like full blown like EXEs and like anything that you can run on like a full computer? And he's like, yeah, no, you can. So And then the next step was to find they had like the cable that you can plug into the charging port, which basically allowed you to use full-size USBs on it. And I honestly have not used it since, but it was really cool for that. And I do have other uses for it. Like I have projects in my head, but again, like it's been on the back burner. And then I also picked up the $50 Amazon Fire tablet. I bought one for me, one for my girlfriend. Freaking awesome. I rooted mine and installed like a Nexus ROM, and it's got Kodi on it. I've been playing Pokemon Leaf Green on it. I've been using it to keep track of like certain things, so that's really cool. And then I also picked up this thing, which is like Asus Chromebook Flip, and it's badass because it's a 3-in-1, right, or a 2-in-1, and it's got the whole Android Play Store on it because I'm on like the dev channel, and it turns around and turns into a tablet, and it's got touchscreen. Like this thing's awesome. Like
Pretty.
It's really cool. I mean, I think I picked it up for like $260, and full aluminum body, HD webcam.
I was going to ask, how many Chromebooks are you rocking now?
I've got 3.
Okay.
Yeah, 3 right now. I'm looking. There's one that just got announced by Asus that I'm probably going to pick up as well. But I'll probably just end up like using them for a while and then like selling them at a loss for a little bit, you know, or something like that. Because I don't need that many. I'm really just using them to test out and use for my like my website. But this one honestly like is fucking awesome, dude. Like this, I've typed up a lot of articles on it, and now that again the full Google Play Store is coming to Chromebooks, because it's got touchscreen and because this is one of the only 3 devices that you can use the betas, like the beta firmware, to use like the Google Play Store. That's why like it's fucking awesome, dude. Mm-hmm. Having the whole Android app library on your like on a Chromebook is like it's a game changer for the whole operating system and for everything, you know.
I'll actually ask you this. Where was no, I'm thinking of different questions and all that now. No, have you heard of CloudReady?
I don't think so. Oh,
so CloudReady, pretty much, it's really cool. You download it and you can get it for free, and then you just put it on a flash drive. And the nice thing is it is optimized to be installed on like older, shitty laptops that you're supposed to throw in the garbage. Oh. And you install it, and it ends up installing Chrome OS on there.
Okay, so it's just a because the thing is like Chrome OS like is nothing in terms of like it doesn't need anything to run like hardware wise.
No, I explain it to because the reason why I used it is because I had an old laptop. And then there was a old netbook that we had, and my brothers were using them, but they had Windows on there, and they were garbage. They were so slow. Yeah. So I was like, okay, well, let's install CloudReady. And when I, because my parents didn't get it, and I was like, okay, imagine CloudReady is just Chrome. That's it. And they're like, wait, so it's just what about the operating system? I was like, imagine the operating system is only an internet browser. That's it. Yeah. And they're like, wait, so can they do this? Can they do that? I was like, well, 95% of what my brothers do is online stuff through the browser. So this way, instead of having Windows and all this other stuff, forget all that stuff. All you need is the browser on there. That's all you need. And you don't have to worry about viruses because there's not going to be any on there. And if it does get infected, it's just all going to be on your account. My bad on that. It's just going to be on your account. So if it somehow gets a virus, you just wipe the computer, reinstall it, and you sign back into your Google account. Exactly.
Well, like the fact that they've got their own like you know, the Google Docs or Google Sheets and all that shit, like it is compatible 100% with Microsoft Office. Like I do stuff at work, and then I do stuff on my computer, and then I'll like download it at work and use like PowerPoint or Excel or Microsoft Word. Like it's kick ass, dude. Like I am very much like shocked with how much you really can do on just a browser-based OS. And like again, having the ability to have the apps now changes it up a bit too, because like before I couldn't Skype. Now I can Skype. I download the Skype app and I'm fucking Skyping my brother. I have like an extension for my Chromebook now where like every time I get a text or phone call, it pops up on my screen on my Chromebook, and I can respond to the text messages directly from my keyboard, or I can even answer the phone call. Like it's fucking awesome, dude. Like there's just it's really badass. And the thing is, for the price, again, you can get a Windows laptop now for like $250, $300. You really can. But again, I guarantee you that after like 1 year, it'll be sluggish as fuck. I've had a Chromebook for like 4 or 5 years. It still functions as quick as the first day I bought it, because there's nothing like no updates that are holding it down or anything like that, you know?
Exactly.
So, and again, I understand it's not for everyone. It's not for gamers. It's not for people that need to do heavy editing. Like
that's what I tell people. It's like if 95% of what you're doing is in a Chrome browser or like Internet Explorer or Firefox or whatever it is, get a Chromebook.
Yeah, exactly. It definitely fills a very large range of needs. Like, and it's perfect for students. It's perfect for, you know, like a lot of, well, again, depending on what you're doing student wise. But I mean, yeah, I'm a huge fan of them. Really am. So, Mr. Mario, I tried your tutorial on soft modding the Sega Saturn. I have 2 Model 1s, and I've come to the conclusion that Model 1 Sega Saturn can't read CDRs stock to swap out my original V Corp. You gotta decrypt that.
Oh, no, I saw that. I didn't say it because it's like that just looked like more of a PSA, if anything. So, I mean, at least thanks for the information on there. I haven't had an issue with it. Some of them I was going to hit here. Well, Matt's asking, where do I get my MM3 mod chips from? That's mod chip for the PS1. I normally got them off Eurasia. I think it's Eurasia. I don't know. Just look up Eurasia and you'll find them on there. They're like $4 per chip, and then it's a few dollars shipping. Now I actually just burn my own chips because you can get a programmer and blank chips for pretty cheap, and you can download the hex right off Eurasia, so you could burn your own mod chips if you want to.
Any thoughts on Remix OS? I've heard of Remix OS, and I've watched a couple of videos on it, but I don't know too much about it. I was actually going to try to install it on one of my Chromebooks. I think Remix OS is like a... I want to say it's like Chrome OS and basically...
Yeah, go ahead and look that up. I haven't heard of that.
It says the future of Android PC is now on Android Marshmallow. Remix OS combines the productive power of PC with full access to the Android app and game ecosystem. So yeah, essentially Remix OS is like how Chromebooks are going to be, like, or how they're becoming.
Isn't Google making their own like actual operating system now, like Fuchsia?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But nobody knows what it's for. At least I just posted an article on my website like 2 or 3 days ago, and apparently like that operating system is run off of something called Magento kernel, and it's able to be used on anything from like really small microsystems to like smartwatches all the way to desktops. So some people are thinking that it's going to be used for like onboard like server stuff, while other people are saying it could be completely new OS like we'll be using, and some people are saying it could be a replacement for like Android or Chrome, but then other people are saying that there's no... It's like a lot of speculation right now. But the thing is, it is open source, and as soon as something's updated, it'll be in the GitHub, so like we'll know right away. But as far as I know, just from a couple of days ago, there's not a lot of like factual information. It's all speculation at this point.
Mm-hmm. No, I gotcha. Let's see. So I just saw this on my Twitter here. Looks like allegedly there are leaked photos of a PS4 Slim.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I can post them on screen if you want me to.
Good.
Let's do this real quick. Let me screen share. I want to get people's thoughts on it. Let's see, sharing that.
I just got... Is it off Kotaku? Is that where the link takes you? Or no?
No, this was somebody ended up tweeting it to Gamer2323. So there's that. That's
that's the one I found. That's the one I found right now.
Gotcha.
It doesn't look bad.
That looks disgusting. I hate how that looks. That does not.
You don't like it at all?
In my opinion, no. I think it looks horrible.
It kind of reminds me of a Wii. The way like the shape of it is and how it just inserts discs from the front like that.
I mean, the PS4 already did that. Like they already had, the disc loading slot here. Looks like they opted for actual buttons now, which is fine. And they really spaced out the USB ports. So it's interesting, but like I think someone else had said it here. Hard 8, he put this out where it's like that's the regular PS4 next to a Slim. I don't know the source on this one, but I think that looks horrible.
I don't hate it.
Okay. That's good.
I wonder if it looks like it's probably 100% legit though, right? Because he's got a box for it. I mean,
I don't know. So this was apparently PS4 Slim leaked before New York event. So someone in the UK or somewhere in Europe has it because it has a PEGI logo instead of an ESRB logo. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if this is going to be a slim one, kind of like the Xbox One S, or if this is going to be the Neo on there. I think I don't support the Xbox One S, really.
Oh, you don't like it?
No, like it's like, okay, it'd be nice they have two. They have a base model, they have a powerful model. I think that's what they needed. Like I actually almost bought one, but I'm like, I don't even use the Xbox One that much, and I don't want to spend 150, 200 bucks, you know, if I trade one in and do all the other stuff for a system I don't really use all that much. And then it's like, it didn't seem well worth it to me. Like, I know allegedly the Neo is coming out this year. That's most likely going to have a 4K Blu-ray player. That's what I'm gunning after. So I'm like, I'll definitely get a Neo, and then I'll probably get a Scorpio when it comes out, but I don't need like the intermediary systems. Gotcha. Like this right here is probably going to be a PS4 Slim with 4K capabilities. It just upscales to 4K, and it might play games a little bit better, and that'd be it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking it is, at least. So we'll see. It's just I don't follow leaks all that often because I tell people, I'm like, leaks are leaks. That's it. It's not official stuff.
No, it could be fake.
Yeah,
it could definitely be fake. I mean, it looks legit, but again, looks are deceiving, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, James was saying, did they 3D print that? I mean, honestly, it's not the first time a fake prototype system has been 3D printed. We saw that with the NX.
Oh, did someone 3D print the NX?
Someone tried to 3D print, like, there was a patented version. There was apparently a leaked image of it, and then someone ended up doing it. It was so good. Like, it looked so legitimate. It even fooled me, but no, it was just a 3D printed NX thing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I can find it. I think this is it.
Oh, you seen some?
Was it a like kind of oval shape?
Yeah. Looked like Stewie's head.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looks just like Stewie's head.
Yeah. It still looked kind of cool, but I'm like, it seems like it'd be weird holding it in your hand or something. I don't know. We'll see what's going on with the NX as well, too. I think that'll be something interesting. I'll say that. So we'll see what's going on. Yeah. Let me pick this out here. Unless you see a comment you want to pick out?
No, I'm looking at that NX, the 3D printed NX.
Okay. Well, okay, I'll ask you this, because Matt was asked this. Thoughts on Tomato, or I'm assuming this DDWRT firmware for routers?
I don't know much about router firmware. I feel like you know more about than I do.
Never used Tomato, but DDWRT I have on all my routers that I can flash, and I think it's fantastic. The only thing is, because there's so many like different forks of it and all that stuff, some of my routers have like a full-blown DDWRT that has like a bunch of features, and all the other ones haven't been updated in a few years, so they don't have as many nice features. Although right now my main router, I'm using a Ubiquiti Edge Router Lite that has Edge OS on there, which is powerful as fuck, but I had to do a Linux crash course on it recently, and the few times I've had to configure and set it up. And then for my active point, I'm using a old-ish, it's a few years old, Linksys router that I picked up and reflashed with DDWRT. So I'm all for it. I think DDWRT is awesome. I haven't used Tomato, so I don't know.
Yeah, I remember we like talked about that briefly for a second one time, but I've never dabbled with it at all.
I love custom firmware on routers, so I'm down for that.
Yeah, well, I know there's like some really solid things that you can get. I gotta take like a 1-minute restroom break, so I'll be RB.
Oh, okay. Well, there's a let's see. There's a question for you real quick here. And actually, I was thinking it's been over an hour. Like, do you want to break or do you want to end?
We can end. It's up to you. It's your call too. But
okay. I gotta go to the bathroom as well too, and I'm really hungry. I've got
to run and get some prescription dog food before the vet closes too.
Oh,
today,
okay.
So.
Okay. Yeah, so we're kind of in a bit of a rush here. But let's see. There's a question for you. It's like, have you ever ISO modded an Xbox 360 game with hot swapping? You specifically.
Oh, no, I have not.
I never messed with hot swapping. I never saw a need to when you could flash.
No, I looked at it a little bit at one point, but I just didn't really see a point in it. The only things I messed with discs at all was like a little bit of COD 4 mods. That was it, like 4 zombies. That was like
or you mean COD 5?
COD
5 had zombies. World at War.
Yeah, you're right. 100% right. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, because I played COD 4 religiously for a while. I was like, I did not have a zombies mode unless you modded it.
No, you're absolutely right. No. COD 4 is one I usually talk about a lot, though, because that's the first one that I ever played, and like it got me into the whole franchise. But no, yeah, I meant COD 5. Yeah.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Yeah, and I guess favorite Linux distributions looks like to be one of the last questions on here. I'd say Crunchbang for me.
For Linux distros, I've been using Linux Mint on my work computer for a while. I really like it. It's definitely not like a hardcore Linux OS in terms that, a lot of people use it, but it's really like pretty in terms of if you use Windows, like it's literally like a skin of Windows. I know that there's one called Bodhi Linux, and one of my coworkers actually was like a developer for Bodhi Linux back in the day. So he's like all about Bodhi Linux, and that's like a really really light OS, and it's pretty much all like terminal based stuff because he's a programmer, and like he doesn't think UIs are like necessary. He thinks that they're dumb. Like he does a lot of like Python scripting for stuff at work to make like, I don't know, our whole workflow a lot quicker. And the only thing he doesn't do is he's just terrible at UIs, like in terms of making things for like dumb people, if you will. Like,
You're getting a phone call, by the way.
How do you know?
I can see it right now on your like phone back there, or the phone that is back there.
Oh yeah, you ain't wrong. It shows right here. It shows on my screen because I have it like linked up. Yeah.
You're just like, wait, how are you hacking me? Or what?
Well, I was like, I didn't know screen sharing. Okay, I forgot it was right there. But yeah, so like that one's cool. And then I mean, Chrome OS, obviously, like technically that's a Linux distro. So yeah, that's another one. I've used Ubuntu as well. Ubuntu's all right. Ubuntu's a really popular one, but
Ubuntu is a very good intro one. I'm not saying it's bad. It's just like, yeah, no, that's like the stereotypical Linux thing that people think of if you think Linux is a nerdy, like, shell type thing.
Definitely.
Yep. Yeah. Anyways, you think you're good to wrap this up?
Yeah, I'm good to go.
All right, sweet. So, guys, thank you all very much for joining, whether you've been here for 5 hours or 5 minutes. If you're here for 5 hours, I'd actually be kind of impressed. But anyways, this is to kind of answer this question, which I was going to bring up anyways. Well, this is going to be a hopefully monthly thing that we're going to do. So instead of doing the offline podcast, I'm not saying we're never going to not do an offline podcast, but we're going to try and do this live streaming thing over Hangouts if that works with us, because it was pretty fun. We can integrate user interaction in there, get a longer podcast out there, and it works out, pretty well. Like, Daniel, what do you think?
No, I think it's really good. It's a lot more fun, and like we can still have, if we want to pre-plan out things, but at the same time we get to really get feedback, live from people. So I like that. I think that it's definitely a good thing. And I think that as long as you guys are cool with it and the majority rules, then we should stick with that.
I don't see anyone saying so far, no, I want the offline podcast, because it's like, well, if you want the offline one, you're going to get it anyways. You just have to wait a bit longer.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, you still get it. Like, it's not like we're taking away really one or the other. Because you said yourself, you're still going to rip the MP3 and make it available on all those channels. So
of course. Yeah. So yeah, even with the release of this one, because I like to space out my releases a bit. So because I uploaded a video yesterday, this one is probably going to go out on Monday, so that'll be next day. But what's going to happen is this is going to go offline. I'll edit all the metadata, all that stuff, get the MP3 version prepped, and then everything will be available for offline viewing if you want to come Monday.
Yeah, that sounds good.
So, yep. Anyways, this is Mr. Mario signing off. Thank you all for watching, everyone. And if you enjoyed this, let us know if you want to show your appreciation. And we also have a few different avenues of where you can check us out. And Daniel, do you want to pimp those?
Hit the like button. No, but yeah, we're on Podbean. We're on iTunes. We are on Google. It's called Google Play, right?
Google Play Music, yeah. Well, Google Play Podcast, technically.
Okay, yeah, Play Podcast. We are on YouTube, quite obviously, and those are the different platforms basically that you can find the podcast on.
Mm-hmm. Of course, yeah. By the way, the last thing I'll address, because I'm happy I get to address it now. So someone was saying allow subscriber participation, people to join the Hangout. I'm actually going to say no to that. I want to pre-plan the guests, just because I talked with Johnny when we used to stream years ago on this. I don't want some person coming in and just streaming porn.
Yeah. No, yeah. It's got to be people that we know firsthand.
We have to have guests on here. We're not going to have people just randomly join in. Although that does seem fun, there's going to be people that can ruin it. And it's like, yeah, I'm not trying to have somebody jerking off on stream as soon as they get on here, or, streaming porn or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be funny, but not good at all.
Yeah, no, I'm not trying to get that on my channel.
No. No. Yeah, I'd flag you.
Oh, thank you very much.
I'm just kidding.
Much appreciated. I'd flag myself just to purge everything.
Yeah, you said fair enough. Yeah, that's...
Yeah. All right. Well, anyways, let's go ahead and sign off here. So, again, thank you all very much for watching, listening, all that other fun stuff. And also the offline viewers, let us know what you all think of this.
Yeah. Oh, I'm going to say, too, though, I mean, I don't know if this is going to go on my channel or not, but if you're not subscribed to me and you want to subscribe, I'm pretty sure my stuff will be down below in the description, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so.
All the time. You're my partner, man.
This is a communion.
Communion. Yeah. Total hetero life partner.
So, see, exactly. The Lord said he'd totally stream porn. So there we go.
Okay. Yep. We got the assurance somebody would stream porn if they got in here.
Yeah. So.